So recently, something very important has happened in the world of gaming. Two games have been released: Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4. Okay,
And
and
Zelda too.
yeah, fuck that game though. I don't care about that game. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it's not my thing.
Uh,
I like the online multiplayer type of thing. So, and also that game has no
wait, wait,
bearing.
wait, wait. But you also you play single player.
I do, but then I just sort of play them just as a mindless time waster, and then I'm when I'm done, I'm done. I don't get obsessed with them. I don't fall in love with them, you know? So these two games, they hit on two sides of a very important issue, and that issue is sexy women in gaming. Okay, so Street Fighter came out, and it is made by Capcom, a Japanese company, and it is leaning full bore into the sexy women in gaming. Let's do it. Let's do it more. Let's give people fan service. Whereas Diablo 4 is kind of the slightly woke, more SJW, more gender neutral, more, oh, women shouldn't have sexy armor because there's no way that's realistic, even though this is a game about like fucking like superpowers and fighting the devil, whatever. I was like, but no, realism is of the utmost importance when it comes to what people are wearing. So they're on that side of it. There was an article in the Gamer.
Okay, wait. Hang on. I guess you could argue that it's part of an aesthetic that they're going for, like a gritty, you know.
You could, but we all know what's really happening, okay?
Yeah. We
We
we do.
yeah, we're not stupid. We know the full context of what's going on in gaming, which companies think what, the we all know the politics is seeped into everything.
Yep.
So, Street Fighter, there was an article in this site called The Gamer where they said bringing back the old Cammy costume was a mistake. It's, outdated. It's archaic, blah, blah, blah. What they really mean is it's too sexy, right? Because it's just straight up her wearing a thong. However, Street Fighter fans love it. You see clips on YouTube that's just like slow motion clips of her ass jiggling, and it has like 100,000 views. Well, the SJW gaming media, they don't really love this so much. So you'll come out, they'll have certain opinion pieces where they talk about how this is a bad thing. And, gamer bros are sexist, misogynists, and we need to, I don't know, get them out of gaming or whatever. On the other flip side, you've got Diablo, and they have a more gender neutral. Here's how you know a game is woke and gender neutral. When you're creating your character and character creation, they don't ask you what gender your character is. They ask you what body type you want. And you can just choose one or two. And one is like male and two is female, but they don't say male or female, because that's not politically correct. That's not correct non-binary language. It's just a body type. I mean, that's fine, and Diablo will make money, but what I love is that Street Fighter, they clearly don't give a fuck about any of this. And they do not care about the critics because the critics don't buy the game. And thank God for companies like this, and I hope other companies learn this lesson. You don't have to please all these morons, okay? And you certainly don't have to please everybody. You just have to please a large enough percentage of the population, and you have to give them what they want, and you have to give them what they love.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is in Diablo, probably the gameplay is good enough that even people like me who really can't stand the
Oh,
the wokeness are probably just gonna shut up and enjoy the game.
well, but at some point, when you have multiple games that are good, you have to decide between them somehow, right?
Yeah.
And if there's a company that's not going to be woke, and you don't want to see wokeness, and I mean these things will make a difference at some point as people make their buying choices, how to spend their time and how to spend their money. It will matter. And I'm not saying that people are going to stop playing Diablo because tons of people don't mind the wokeness or they don't notice it. And in fairness, I didn't think it was super woke. It just was kind of, the women are kind of ugly, and their outfits are not sexy, and that's just
Well,
kind of
and I've heard that they do use the that body type terminology.
they do that, yes. But that's not enough for me to say, "Oh, this game's super woke. I can't play it."
Mhm.
I played other games that said body type. It's not like ruining my day. And even the sort of more gender neutral character models in Diablo, it didn't really bother me. You're right. It
Mhm.
could be viewed as just an aesthetic choice. They just want it to be grittier. Fair. That's fine. We know that that's not the reason why Blizzard is doing it, because we know what kind of people work at Blizzard. But there are other instances and contexts where maybe it is just an aesthetic choice and it doesn't really bother me. I could play that game. However, if I had to choose between playing Street Fighter and Diablo, this kind of stuff will matter. You know, it gives me more enjoyment to see sexy women in a game versus not seeing sexy women in a game because it's pleasant to look at. Sorry, that's just the blunt reality of it.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody like myself, like I was saying earlier, just having ugly characters, it actually does hamper my motivation.
Oh yeah, it does. You have to look at this thing constant. Think about how many hours you're looking at this one thing. Wouldn't you
You're,
like to be looking at something pleasant?
I mean, in some sense, you're building this, fictitious relationship, or you're building a relationship with a fictitious character, and it's like I would rather build one with an attractive one than an ugly one.
Right. You want to build with one with something that speaks to you, whether that be because it's attractive or because it looks like you or represents something that, you find. It doesn't have to be it's an attractive person, but you have to connect with it somehow, right?
Yeah,
And a
yeah,
lot of
exactly.
people do connect with attractive avatars. Like I said before, America's last hope is Japan, as weird as that sounds.